There's a road in Gouverneur, New York that most people drive without a second look. Hillsboro Street. Just a simple two-lane stretch running past houses, parking lot, and the Asukwache River. Nothing special, but here's the truth. This road once fed an industrial village that powered the North Country. It was a place of quarries, mills, dams, cement work, and stone that was so valuable that it built cities across America. A place that boomed and then vanished. This is the real story of Halesboro Road. There's a road in Gouverneur, New York that most people drive without a second look. Hillsboro Street. Just a simple two-lane stretch running past houses, parking lot, and the Asukwache River. Nothing special, at least at first glance. But here's the truth. This road once fed an industrial village that powered the North Country. It was a place of quarries, mills, dams, cement work, and stone that was so valuable that it built cities across America. A place that boomed and then vanished. This is the real story of Halesboro Road, a story buried under river silt, old stone foundations, and memories only the oldest of Gouverneur families still whisper about. Welcome back, everybody, to another Street Sign Storytime. We've shifted the gears. I'm not out here just making stories up. I'm actually doing some digging. No pun intended with this episode. Much different kind of digging. Finding real stories, real towns, real roads that really rooted the North Country. And, well, hopefully you enjoyed this one, because this one goes back all the way to the early 1800s. Long before the Hamlet existed, the Asukwache River carved a natural industrial pathway through the wilderness of St. Lawrence County. And the early settlers, they weren't fools. They built where the water could work for them. As early as the 1810s and the 1820s, the river, it powered quite a few things. It powered sawmills, grist mills, small water wheels for grinding grain, early industrial shops that actually served the growing town of Gouverneur. You can get an extra couple bonus points in my book if you can spell Gouverneur without looking it up and you're not from around here. Because let's be honest, most people from Gouverneur probably can't spell Gouverneur on a good day, right? Just kidding. Kind of. These mills didn't just pop up randomly. They were actually built right where Hillsboro Street stands today. The road was essentially a service lane for early industry. Ox carts hauling timber, workers walking to the mills, wagons carrying flour, lumber, and stone, and later cement and marble from the quarries. The Asukwache wasn't just scenic. It was the engine, and Hillsboro was about to become a full-blown industrial hamlet, because by the 1830s, Hillsboro officially took shape. The name came from the Hales family, early developers who saw opportunity in water power and land around the riverbed. Over the next 40 years, Hillsboro exploded into an industrial hotspot that had sawmills. Processing timber from the surrounding hills, it was obvious and easy. Well, I say easy. I wasn't out there doing the back-breaking work, but you know what I mean. It just felt perfect. Then there was also grist mills, which were grinding wheat and oats for Gouverneur's growing population. Then cement works. Halesboro became famous for natural cement, which was actually a type of lime-rich cement that set underwater, which was ideal for bridges, canals, and foundations all across New York State. And then there was stone cutting shops. Workers, they actually shaped Gouverneur's famed marble and limestone that later appeared in government buildings, mansions, and urban architecture. Then there was a bunch of small machine shops that would repair, tools, wagon wheels, mill machinery, that kind of stuff. Halesboro Road, it wasn't just a route. It was the lifeline connecting all of these industries. The soundscape here, well, it wasn't quiet. It was water rushing through mill races, hammers on stone, saws biting into lumber, wagon wheels rattling over dirt, men yelling over machinery, and, well, probably their kids. This road was busy. Gouverneur's small version of an industrial district. Then Gouverneur's marble and limestone deposits, they, well, are among the richest in New York State. And guess where a lot of that stone traveled first? Halesboro Road. You're really good at this, because by the 1860s and 1880s, Halesboro became a stoneworkers' village. Quarry blocks were hauled down to the mills, cutter-shaped marble for building stone, fine grain limestone was then processed for industrial use. Natural cement was exported downriver and by wagon to the railroad. The hamlet had a post office, it had general stores, it had worker housing, blacksmith shops, multiple mills, had its own schoolhouse. And Hillsboro wasn't a tiny speck on the map, it was a legitimate industrial village, well known throughout the county. At its peak, the road supported one of the most important stone and cement production zones in northern New York. This was the Golden Age. But as history shows us, golden ages, they don't typically last. Because by the early 20th century, American industry shifted. Concrete replaced natural cement, larger mills downstate outcompeted small local ones. The railroad changed shipping routes, quarries opened closer to major cities, industrial water power gave way to electricity. Slowly, mill by mill, Halesboro's engine, it sputtered out. Sawmill closed, the cement works, well, they shut down. Stone yards slowed to a crawl. The post office, it relocated, and workers left for larger cities. Families moved to Gouverneur proper, and the hamlet, it shrank. Buildings were abandoned or repurposed. Mill races, they were just filled in. Foundations collapsed or were taken by the river. Hillsboro Road, once noisy and alive, grew quieter each decade. And today, I mean, you could walk or drive Halesboro Road and you'll probably still see a historic 19th century home that's still standing. The Asukwache is still flowing past old mill sites. Stone walls and foundations, they're hidden, but just now in the brush. And the layout of a once self-sufficient hamlet, well, you might see some of that as well. You're going to see an old Methodist church, one of the last standing community anchors. Most people don't realize that this quiet road, it once carried, quarry wagons, lumber carts, mill workers, river-driven industry, and the entire identity of a village, now half forgotten. But the history, it's still there. You just have to know where to look. So the next time you turn down Halesboro Street, or maybe just cross the Asukwache at the old mill bend, just remember this. You're not traveling through a neighborhood. You're traveling through what used to be one of Gouverneur's most important industrial engines. It was a village built on water power, stone, sweat, and grit. Halesboro Road may be quiet now, but the road remembers. And thanks to the people who still call it home, the story continues. Let us know what you think of this. If you've been down Halesboro Road, live on Halesboro Road, or you have some extra little bit of tidbits or some history on Halesboro Road, we would definitely love to hear more about it. Hopefully you're enjoying the new real history on these roads, and who knows where this journey will take us next. Other than me, because I kind of have an idea. But either way, we'll be back next week. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Take care, everybody.